Welcome back to Entertainment Talk. Today I want to talk about BBC's decision to commission a new three-part drama telling the story of Jimmy Savile. Now there's a lot of things to get into here and, well, none of them are good, really. This is going to be a negative, ranty-esque sort of podcast just about, well, the obvious stuff that's kind of going on here. So this comes from the Custard TV. They do post TV news. This is a few days old. I have already tried to record this podcast 2 days ago, but it didn't quite come out the way I wanted it to. So I'm trying again. Hopefully this will be the successful attempt at that. The BBC have announced a three-part drama telling the Jimmy Savile story from Jeff Pope and Neil McKay, the team behind Appropriate Adult, which I haven't seen. Read full details here. So just to tell my source and stuff, this is from thecustardtv.com, so you can go and have a look at what they've got on there as well. To me, this feels really, really desperate from the BBC. Now, if you remember, maybe some of you are new here, maybe this is your first Entertainment Talk podcast, I don't know. If you remember, maybe 2 months or so ago, there was two reports that came out. One was about Disney Plus and one was about BBC, and I did a podcast comparing the two and how they're both doing very differently. Now, the two specific things that came out from the BBC, which was a report from the BBC about how the BBC is doing, and the two things that were noted is that they're struggling to get in the young audience, and that they had a 20% budget cut. Now, I'm not saying that these two things are connected, because I don't think that they actually are. It's a funny coincidence, let's sort of call it that. And I don't think that they're connected, so I'm not trying to whatever. So you're struggling to get in a young audience, and you then commission a drama about Jimmy Savile. Now, I'm not saying that they've commissioned the Jimmy Savile drama to try and get young audiences in. That would be even more stupid than what this already is, but yeah, doesn't seem like the smartest decision. And when I talked about Disney as compared to BBC, now some people might say to me, "Look, Matt, that's not fair. You can't compare the BBC and Disney. I can compare whatever channels to whatever streaming services I like, and I'll tell you why. Because they're all competing against each other for your time and all your money. Because you've obviously got the free channels that you can use, such as ITV and Channel 4 and Channel 5. And then you've got the stuff that you have to pay for, such as the TV license for BBC, and then the money that you have to pay for things like Netflix and Disney Plus and Amazon. So some of them are competing for your money, but all of them are competing for your time. So yes, they are all in competition with each other, and they do have to all keep that in mind. So when I look at the quality that Disney has come out with, and some of the other channels and streaming services, granted they can't all successfully compete with each other. There's no way someone like Channel 5 would compete with something like Netflix at the moment, or even something like Channel 4 or E4. So some of them are definitely doing worse than the others, but again, they're all in competition to entertain you and to get your time and attention, because to get you watching their stuff. Now, yeah, it's a little bit disgusting as well, because obviously, you know, Jimmy Savile's got the history there with the BBC, and it's a little bit tone deaf in a way, isn't it? Of like, okay, because I don't know a massive amount about Jimmy Savile. I don't need to know more than what I already do. But yeah, to have, you know, the history there with the BBC, and then the BBC actually commission this, is not only a bit tone deaf, but just kind of disgusting and stupid at the same time as well. Just overall, this just feels that there's a level of disgust here, because obviously it's about, you know, the paedophile and all that, and that's, you know, a bad idea. The other interesting part here as well, this isn't a documentary. You would kind of expect this to be a documentary. So if I'm understanding this correctly, this has been commissioned as a drama. So somebody is going to have to play the role of Jimmy Savile. Now, I feel sorry for whoever gets chosen to do that, because you've got a hell of a job on your hands, and you're going to get, you know, judged for it and whatever. Yeah, that's going to be... Yeah, this is just really weird. And I mean, personally, the way I've spoken about BBC, and they've only got a few things that really stand out to me, this just really feels quite desperate to me from the BBC. Like, they haven't really got a whole lot going on. Sure, they've got, you know, so what have they got? They've got Doctor Who, Inside Number 9, Match of the Day, which is highlights of football games and analysis, probably of which you can watch on YouTube, highlights of football games. EastEnders, which they've had for several years, but obviously it's become a staple of the BBC. Top Gear, which people don't like now because not only did they got rid of the original guys and that, and they went over to Amazon with is it Grand Tour, I think it's called. So that happened. Then they brought in, I can't even remember the original cast that they brought in because I never really watched Top Gear anyway. I'm not really like a car person per se. And then they've recasted and they've brought in, I think it's like Freddie Flintoff and that guy who does that dating show, Paddy McGuinness, I think that's his name. They brought in him, and that's going to be, it's either started soon or is coming back soon. I haven't really kept track of it. But they've they've lost like the golden touch there, haven't they? Because they've lost all the original 3 guys that did it. So they've got that. So yeah, they got Top Gear, Inside Number 9, Doctor Who, EastEnders. There's something else that I mentioned a minute ago, but they're very low on really quality things. Now, in the last couple of years, they did have things like Fleabag, which maybe that will come back for a 3rd season, maybe. But there's only 12 episodes of that show that even exist. It's not like Fleabag's not like a regular show, is it, for BBC? It's not something that's going to be on all the time, or something that's going to be on quite constantly, like an EastEnders or a Doctor Who or a Top Gear. Those are pretty much going to keep going no matter what, basically. But yeah, this just really feels quite desperate. And I did check some comments online just to see, if I'm alone in feeling like this. Nope. Nobody else seems to be very happy about this. Some people are even more angry than me about this. And the thing you got to bear in mind as well is people pay their TV license for the BBC, and that is being used to fund this drama series, and it's just does not feel right at all. Now, some of the other things I heard in the comments, one of the very little positive things I heard in the comments was that Jeff Pope and Neil McKay, they don't spring to mind for me. Particularly, maybe they've worked on a show that I know, but I just don't really sort of recognise their names. Some people have said that they're really good at some of the stuff that they make. That's good, but again, if you're the BBC, put them on something better. Like, why? I don't even understand why they're really doing this. I mean, the only reason that makes sense to me that they're doing this is a couple of reasons. Is first of all out of desperation because the BBC just doesn't have a lot, and second of all, what's the right term to use for this? It's reaching into the whole of controversy, because when you look at controversial people in history, Jamie Saville, who is one of those people, it's almost like the phrase of you can't look away from a car crash. Now, some people can look away from essentially just TV that's so controversial and so bad that people feel like they have to watch it, like a Tiger King or something, for example. It was about these nasty people, but some people couldn't take their eyes off the car crash, so to speak. This is another example of that. This is another example of somebody who's done something wrong in the past, and BBC are sort of dipping into the whole of controversy and thinking, oh, you know what, we'll get people's eyes on, to look at our screens again, or to watch our channel again, is to do this Jamie Saville drama. And it sort of, feels a lot like that, definitely. So it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Hey there, I'm Aaron Holman, host of Eye to Eye, a weekly podcast talk show all about passion.
I have this passion and this fire within me that burns brighter than the fire around me.
Flow.
With performing, there's always a story to tell, whether it's my own or not.
And creativity.
I go, he's more than cute, he's creative.
All with an LGBT twist. Make sure to check out Eye to Eye, that's EYE, number 2, letter I. And rate and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen in today.
I'm Christy.
And I'm Jackie.
And we are Killer Fun. We explore the intersection of crime and entertainment every other week.
For as long as people have been communicating, they have been talking about who did what to whom, and is that socially acceptable?
Because the boundaries of society,
crime,
and entertainment have always gone hand in hand.
The more salacious,
or weird,
the better. From books and movies
to television shows and games,
we look at how life and art imitate and inform one another.
And we can't get together and not laugh. So let's face it, there's going to be laughing.
Killer Fun is available anywhere you listen to podcasts, so join us.
If you'd like to get started with a domain name and a website today, just click on the link in the show notes and that will take you over to Koalu to get started. They also have a live support chat system that you can use, which is in the bottom right hand corner. So get started with a new website and domain name today with Koalu. Hey everybody, if you would like to get the ad-free versions of all of our podcasts and support Entertainment Talk along the way, all you need to do is head over to patreon.com/entertainment talk. Sign up either as a creator or as a Patreon. There's no difference there. That's just the option for either becoming a creator now or just staying as a patron for the moment. And then all you need to do is support us at the $1 level tier. That will get you access to all of the ad-free podcasts that we've done in the past, and get you access to all the ad-free podcasts in that month as well. So it's a great way to support us on Entertainment Talk and to get rid of the ads and get your ad-free podcasts. You can also become a patron at the $3 level tier. That gets you access to ad-free podcasts and allows you to redeem a review of a TV show or a film of entirely your choice. That's one per month for either a TV show or a film review, which is at the $3 level tier. As always, thank you very much for listening. Back to the show. So yeah, I'm a little bit lost for words, to be honest, as well. So it's very strange. Like I said, there's a few obvious reasons. The whole of controversy to, dip into controversial figures from the past and people that have done bad things, and to make dramas about them that people can't look away from, even though that they know that that's a bad person and they could easily watch something better. The other point for me personally is just like, instead of the time, money and effort that you're going to put into this, just make like a new original good drama or a comedy. It's really funny when I look at the BBC at the moment, because I think you used to have Only Fools and Horses. One of the, not only just the best British comedy of all time, but probably the best British show of all time. I mean, you're talking about Sir David Jason, you're talking about Nicholas Lyndhurst, and some other actors in there as well. So somehow over the course of however many years, they've gone from Only Fools and Horses, a really, really good comedy. I haven't finished it all yet. Glad that I've still actually got episodes to watch because it's so good. And they end up back at Jimmy Savile. It's just, yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. I won't be watching it, obviously. There's no way I'm going to do any podcast on it, because why would I, But I do want to look at the other side as well. So those of you that are listening, if you're interested in this, maybe you're interested in controversial people from the past and the stories surrounding their lives, if you do intend to watch this for any particular reason, do let me know why. If there's reasons other than the ones I've already stated. If you think this is a good reason for some particular reason, I can't think of as a reason as to why. But yeah, let me know. Matthew at entertainmenttalk.org. Matthew at entertainmenttalk.org, Twitter eTalkUK. There's a contact page and information in your show notes. Yeah. This is going to get you to compete with. Yeah, it's just. It's funny because I'm gonna. This is something else I'm gonna stick by. The Freeview channels have been struggling for years. I've noticed it, and this just pushes that further. It really just does. It just does for me. Now, there's things in this podcast that maybe I've said wrong, or I'm not seeing things in the right light or the right picture, but I think I'm right about that last particular statement. So, because I think I have been for a few years, and this just continues to push that further. So, we'll see what happens. But yeah, 3-part drama from Jeff Pope and Neil McKay about Jimmy Savile, a drama series. So the most curious part to me is, okay, just the fact that, okay, you're commissioning this as a drama, someone's gonna have to play Jimmy Savile and not just like a documentary. I'm very literally the only other part I'm curious about with this is who's going to be chosen to play Jimmy Savile, because you've got a job on your hands, I suppose. Strange. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got. I don't want to go here too much longer. I think I've made my point. It feels disgusting. It feels desperate, and yeah, to me, just pushes me further away from watching things on the BBC. So you haven't really done your job there. But anyway, I think I've said enough. Thank you all very much for listening. You can find everything that we do on entertainmenttalk.org. If you want to support the podcast and Entertainment Talk, we're on Patreon. You can have a look at the $1 and $3 level tiers. For instance, ad-free podcast and review options. Amazon affiliate link. If you're buying stuff on Amazon, we can get a small cut of what you spend. It won't cost you extra. iTunes feeds. Please rate, review, subscribe to those if you search for Entertainment Talk on your favourite podcast platform. Either the individual feeds or the main Entertainment Talk feed so that you get sent all the episodes. Bex is streaming at the moment on Twitch through Tristabytes. Trista, B-Y-T-E-S. Go and search for her on Twitch. Follow her, subscribe to her for fun and cool geeky chatter, gaming, all sorts of other fun stuff as well. So go and follow there as well. If you want more TV and film news, you can head over to geektown.co.uk. You can check out Geektown Radio on Tuesdays for your weekly TV and film news, up-to-date, reliable TV and film news. You can also search for Geektown on iTunes and podcast services. Rate, review, subscribe to that as well. Run by David, of course. Good stuff over there. And of course, look out for Let's Play Sundays. I need to schedule some more episodes. But thank you very much for listening. And yeah, just had to kind of get this off my chest. So, BBC, what are you doing? I don't know what they're doing. Anyway, I've made my point. I will see you all next time. Goodbye.